Hi guys, it's me, Robbie from EnglishHarmony.com, and welcome back to my video blog. I've been away from video publishing for a couple of weeks, if I'm not mistaken. And the reason for that, I was busy doing other things, preparing articles for my blog, and doing all sorts of different stuff that some of us have to do in our lives, right? We can't be always doing what we've planned for. Sometimes there's a few unexpected things coming up that have to be dealt with. But anyway, I'm back on track, and this video is going to be dedicated to responding to Francisco's email I got 3 days ago, and his email was in turn a response to my email that I sent out to my mailing list. If you're part of my mailing list, you should have actually received the email about 5 or 6 days ago, and I actually asked everybody what they want me to write about on my blog, or what kind of videos, basically what kind of topics I should be discussing on my videos in the weeks and months to come. And Francisco's email is quite lengthy, and I'm going to address all the points that he's making in his video, right? So first of all, basically, the whole thing is about the English Harmony system, the product that I'm selling, and the English Harmony philosophy as a whole. You see, my whole blog is geared towards those people who are really disappointed with the traditional way of teaching and learning English. And the reason is quite simple. The traditional English teaching system doesn't really develop students' overall fluency. It's a fact, it's a simple fact, and it's not even up for discussion, because there's thousands and hundreds of thousands of people who experience the same fluency issues that I was experiencing all those years ago, and the reason for that is the traditional system, where everything is geared towards grammar, reading, vocabulary building, comprehension, but simple ability to speak is somehow ignored. But Francisco doesn't really agree with me 100%. He thinks that I shouldn't be knocking the entire traditional teaching system as a whole, right? He thinks that the statement I'm typically making, that all schools are doing the wrong thing, is a bit over the board. He reckons that I should be saying that some schools are modern and doing the right thing, but some aren't, right? I should be a little bit realistic in my approach, right? I shouldn't be so drastic as to state that everybody is bad and the English Harmony is the only website which focuses upon fluency improvement, and that the English Harmony system is the only product in the world that's going to do the trick and make you fluent. So, first of all, I do believe that all schools are doing the wrong thing. I really believe so. And why? Here's why. You'd think that right now, currently, in a modern country, right, such as Ireland. I live in Ireland, right? And it's an English-speaking country right next to Great Britain. And you'd think that in this day and age, people would have, like in schools, in the educational sector, people would have embraced at least some of the concepts of fluency development, instead of just merely focusing on writing and reading, right? You would have thought so, right? It's not the case. I have 2 daughters, and they're attending a school here in Ireland. They're 15 years old. As a matter of fact, they're twins, right? And they're both 15 today. Today's their birthday. And they learn a number of languages. They'll learn French. One of my daughters learns French. The other one studies German. And they've been obviously speaking in English ever since they arrived here when they were 4. So English is pretty much like a native language to them. They speak 2 languages, our own, Latvian and English, at the same level, pretty much. Actually, in some ways, their English is more sophisticated, more eloquent than Latvian, because they spend 70-80% of their time communicating in English with other children and even between themselves. But anyway, that's not That's not the point I'm making. The point is, when they study German, French, and Irish, which is the indigenous language of Ireland, right? They have also their own language, Irish. When they study those languages, they're still taught the same way. Everything is based on textbooks, grammar, vocabulary acquisition, learning individual grammar words, but they can't speak. Whenever I'm trying to speak with my daughters in either French or German, they're just ashamed to do so. And all their tests in school, well, there is some speaking involved, obviously. It's not as if the traditional system doesn't require children to speak at all. It's not the case, and I've never actually claimed that. I've never said on my blog that you're never ever required to speak in schools. It's not the case. But the amount of time spent on speaking is minuscule. You have to be doing it all the time in order to develop your ability to speak in the language. And any language is primarily as means of communication, not writing or reading. It comes after that. But when they learn all these languages in school, to this day and age, it's still not happening. They're not focusing on the oral fluency. They're not, okay, fair enough. Maybe somewhere in the world there are individual educational bodies that have embraced this concept. And I'm really sorry if I'm not aware of that. But as far as I'm aware, the mainstream educational system hasn't changed. And actually, as a matter of fact, recently I was talking to my mother, and she's a teacher over in my country in Latvia, and she's a teacher of Russian, right? Russian was my second language, to be honest with you, but I haven't been using the language for a long time, and now it's kind of forgotten. Even though I could revive it, given a couple months, it would all come back to me. But anyway, she's a teacher of Russian. And I got talking to her about various teaching methods and so on and so forth. And I came to realize that the same teaching methods are still alive and kicking. Grammar, writing, and basically she complained about the newer generation of Latvians not being able to speak Russian and being quite bad at Russian studies. And I made the simple point of saying, come on, Mom. I spoke Russian, and everybody else did, because back in the day it was like the second language. It was everywhere. Russian was spoken on the street more so than nowadays. It was basically the language of the government. Every institution that you drop in, all the documentation was in Russian and in Latvian. So you just couldn't not speak Russian. But now, ever since we regained our independence, children are not required to speak Russian. So just because back in the day everyone spoke Russian in the classroom and you taught the language in a certain way, doesn't mean that they spoke the language because of the studies. They spoke the language because they used the language on the street, with friends and so on and so forth. So now all of a sudden, 20 years on, everyone's kind of surprised. Why aren't children speaking the language? If it's being taught the same way in schools, surely there's something wrong with kids. But very few people actually realize that it's the educational system. If you take away using the language in daily lives, and if children are only left with it at school, all of a sudden they can't speak because the traditional studies aren't geared towards speaking. And all these things taken together and feedback of my websites, visitors, and my YouTube channel subscribers clearly should suggest that the problem is still out there. Maybe there is 1% of educational bodies that have embraced all these concepts and so on, but please forgive me, Francisco, but the mainstream traditional system is pretty much the same, and I'll keep sticking to my arguments on my blog and on my articles and on my videos, and I'll keep repeating the same thing. All schools are doing the wrong thing. Obviously, By saying all schools, I just mean mainstream public education. I'm not talking about some private schools where different principles of teaching are embraced, but for all intents and purposes, all schools, in my view, mean the mainstream education. And the problem is still there. And moving on to the next thing, that English Harmony System being the only course. Well, it's not the only, but me being a fluency expert and someone who runs my own website and who makes money from selling my product, surely you'll understand that I can't be promoting other people's products. I have to be focusing upon my product, and I strongly believe that my product does actually have advantages over any of the competitors' products. Why? Because my product, for all I know, is pretty much the only one where you're required to mimic the phrases you hear, memorize, and then actually use them in dialogues. Other products have embraced similar approach, but it's not the exact same structure and everything, right? So I strongly believe in my product, and I actually do believe that it's the best out there. But why I'm not mentioning competitors' products, and why am I not saying, listen, my product is one of, any salesman, and I'm partly a salesman because that's what I'm doing. When you land on my sales page, I'm selling my audience the product. And I don't think it's a bad thing. There's nothing bad about selling. I think it's a very archaic approach that selling is something bad. There's nothing inherently bad about selling. I strongly believe in my product. I'm working on English Harmony part-time. It's my part-time job. I'm creating hundreds of articles, videos, and all that, and I'm providing great value on my blog, so I don't see any reason why I couldn't make some money for the time that I'm investing into the whole thing by offering my audience a great, superb product that really works. And I do strongly believe that it is the best product out there. So I don't think that you're correct on this second account too. I'm sorry, Francisco, but that's my opinion. You're clearly entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine, and I'm communicating with you in a very normal way. I'm not being offensive or anything, and I'm not being offended by your opinion either. We both have the rights to express our opinions, because that's what freedom of speech is all about, isn't it? But anyway, let's not make this video too lengthy. The next point Francisco is making is that hold on a second, yeah. Besides, there are courses for specific purposes, traveling, business English, reading, and so on and so forth. So basically, he's saying that I can't be claiming that the English Harmony System is going to do the trick, because if someone has a specific need, and in particular, he mentions TOEFL exam, right? If someone wants to pass an exam, surely there's nothing wrong with that person pursuing that goal, right? And buying a product that would actually help him to pass an exam. Well, I clearly get what you're saying, but it's still missing the point. My point is, everything that's geared towards exams is still part of the whole traditional educational system, you know. And people might be passing all the tests and exams they want, but at the end of the day, if they can't speak fluently, right, they won't be happy. They're not going to improve their English to the level they want. And that's why I'm not, that's why I strongly believe that fluency, overall fluency, comes first and foremost. And if you develop your oral fluency, right, ability to speak, then everything else is going to follow naturally. You'll be able to speak, write more fluently. You'll be able to comprehend and read and so on, but speaking comes next. And actually, I don't separate speaking so much. Everything goes together. Speaking, listening, and writing as well. It all goes hand in hand. But speaking is the most important aspect of any language, because what humans did all those thousands of years ago when they started speaking with each other, they spoke. They didn't communicate by writing. They spoke, and language is means of communication. Oral, verbal communication. That's the point I'm making. Yes, some people have specific purposes like travel and business English and so on, but as a matter of fact, the English Harmony System has it all included in itself. There's 90 speech exercising lessons in it, and there's various subjects touching upon all those topics you mentioned, like I'm going to just call out a few, right? Sports and activities, traveling, party, small talk, shopping, eating out during a break in college, and health and economy, and environmentalism, and dealing with car problems, chatting with strangers, getting to know a person, poverty, tourism, internet, going to bed, watching TV, job interview, immigration, just about anything, you name it. It's in the English Harmony System. And if you do the 6-month standard plan, I guarantee your basic fluency is going to be there for you to enjoy and to use as a platform in your future life to build upon. Obviously, you can't be able to speak just about anything because you can't just possibly pack all that vocabulary into a single product, but that's not the point. The point is all those speech patterns, sentence structures are going to be imprinted in your mind, and you're going to be able to speak no matter what the situation is, whether you're in a business meeting or attending a job interview or whatever. That's the whole point, you know. That's why I believe very strongly that the English Harmony System is going to help you in all aspects of your life. And going back to the exam, I don't really believe in exams. Yes, some people have that need to pass an exam, and so be it, but I'm not catering for that market. Sorry. Why? Because I don't want to support the mainstream educational mindset that you have to prepare for tests, exams, because it doesn't improve your fluency. It's just a grade. You're getting an A or a B or C or whatever, but it doesn't help you speak more fluently. What the English Harmony System does, it helps you prepare for the oral part in the exam, right? And with that, you can actually manage your writing and comprehension so much more easily. You know what I mean? So basically, when you improve your spoken fluency, you will also quite naturally and automatically improve other aspects of your language. So that's my opinion, and it obviously differs from your opinion, Francisco, but sorry, that's me, and I strongly believe in what I'm doing. The English Harmony philosophy is something that I came up all those years ago, and the last thing to address is Francisco says that I'm basically offering others relief, those who have suffered with traditional methods for not being fluent. Is that a bad thing? I don't say it's a bad thing. I'm offering others relief, and I'm helping them, for Christ's sakes. I think I'm the good guy here. Sorry, Francisco, but that's my honest opinion. And this was basically the first video in the series where I'm making videos and articles as a response, as a response to my customers' feedback, basically. I have a file, and there's, how many topics are there? 33 topics, so one can be ticked off. And thanks, guys. Thanks, Francisco. Anyway, as I said, no hard feelings. This is your opinion. This is mine. And thanks for your feedback. And thanks for watching, guys. And obviously, you're welcome to publish comments below. Okay, thanks for watching, and bye-bye.